Okay, everybody. Oh, we have some people on. That's awesome.
I
So
love it.
happy. It's Monday, right? Are we at Monday? All the
Last week.
days flow together. So I want to welcome all of you to the show. And we have Rob Feldman from the Long Beach office. So super excited. Welcome, Rob. So we are going to go over, we're discussing, you know, we're practicing writing an offer on one of Rob's actual listings. And I sent out a text to a group of people. It's on 850 East Ocean Boulevard, unit number 1403. And this is actually Rob's listing that is active right now, right? And so let me see, we
Very.
have Carmen and Nina, Rebecca, Bryn, and I don't know who 747 is. If you want to you know, disclose who you are, that would be super duper. So Rob, if you want to take it away and just kind of give everyone your elevator pitch, right, for your listing, and
Well, sure.
at the same time I'll pull up the screen share and show the listing particulars.
Absolutely. Tell me when you want me to go.
Okay, go ahead. Can you see my screen, Rob?
Yeah, there it is. Wow.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's nice to we always. I was talking to Stephanie earlier this morning, and this has been on, as you can see, a while. But all of these condos in this particular area have been on for a while. I'm not going to use the excuse of COVID, but there is some of there. There was some looting went on and some rioting back in the day, but now we're long past that. Okay, this is absolutely, I think, and Deb and I concur that it is truly the primo of the buildings on the sand in Long Beach. It is the only one of the sand that has an elevator that goes all the way down, and you can go right out to the ocean right where this picture is. And these are not pictures that were are standard. These are overlooking the 14th floor, because it's so exquisite on this side. If you're on the other side, you have the Queen Miriam parking lots. That's for those of you who don't know, that's an oil derrick out there, but they made it look like an island, and it looks really beautiful. You have views down to Newport, all over. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, you all, 1,397 square feet. It has beautiful closet space, got a large master bedroom with the bath has 2 sinks. It's got a spa tub. I'm not going to say jacuzzi because we don't know if exactly, they'll have to do it. The HOA is absolutely, be ready. It's a 24/7 concierge, and it's $902 a month. So let me just get right to that and get that out of the way. The HOA dues include water, sewer, trash, Verizon Fios internet, basic cable, plus HBO. And you can see that the kitchen has been totally redone. The floors have been done. Carpet is the only thing that hasn't been done. What some of you have done is put a mirror. If you look in the living area there, and the mirror comes in, so you really see it wherever you are. But each bedroom, you wake up in the morning, and that's your view. There's no curtains, no leveler, no nothing, because it's just beautiful. And sitting out there having a drink, it's great. I'm probably going to give you more information than you should, but some of you haven't written offers. You've got a full gym there. You have the pool. You have barbecue. They have parties. If you're lonely, this is the place to be. They all get along. They all like each other. We've sold in there a ton, and it's really quite cool. The gym is awesome, and you have meeting rooms, and they, as I said, parties. They've had back in the day when they could, and hopefully they will be able to soon enough. They have a lot of storage. They have storage for motorized bikes, storage for regular bikes, storage above your unit. And the parking spaces, we have 2 side by side. They are not tandem. So And it's for who? Hold on one sec. Oh, um, all right. Well, I'm sorry. It's so funny in the middle of all this. Of course, um, we have a wine refrigerator that's been working great, and it went on the fritz, and they said we'll be here today, such and such, and they haven't been here, and now they're here right in the middle of this. So that's what my daughter just said. All right, sorry about that. But you've got again the views, the 14th floor. You've got beautiful, beautiful stuff that's here. Is there more expensive stuff in this building? Absolutely. If you do the penthouse, is there lower end stuff? Absolutely. One bedrooms, a couple two bedrooms. So one of the cool things about this building, you guys and gals, is that when you look out to your view, the lot right next to it was designated historic, and it will never, ever, ever be built on. So you will have a view for as long as you live there. So, questions before we continue? Or hopefully you're writing or you have written, and, as I said, I might give you a little bit more information because hopefully you'll think about this when you write if you're looking at stuff. And for your clients, we started out at 9.25, and we're down to 8.99. So, and one thing I will tell you, and Stephanie will concur, is you all, people say, well, why hasn't it been? Has there been offers on the property? Is there play in the price? Always come with your best foot forward. But what I will tell you, and what we will tell some people, just put an offer in so the seller feels good about it, and then the seller will talk if he wants to do other pricing with it. But he's already, as I said, just recently lowered, and that's where we're at. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Rob. So what we want to do, let me share the screen again, is, oh, here it is. Okay. So for those of you, I think some of you, so what we're doing right now, I don't know if some of you have been on the other mock, contract classes that we've had. So what we'd like all of you to do, especially the ones that are participating in the Blue Jeans with us, so we can have, a live conversation, is for you to make sure that you have your car forms open, you have the RPA out, right? And you're going to write an offer. We're going to give you, probably, I think we did about 8 minutes to go through for you guys to write an offer, right? And a lot of times, some of you who may not have practiced as much will get through the first 2 pages, and that's probably all the time that we'll have, is to get through really the financing part. What are you offering? What numbers are you putting? How long are you putting in for escrow? So on and so forth. So want you to have your RPA open, and you're writing an offer. Again, I'm hoping that all of you guys can see it on 850 East Ocean Boulevard, Unit 1403, Long Beach, California 90802. So like I said, we're going to set the timer here soon for you guys to write that. Rob gave a lot of information, and then if you guys have questions that you want to ask, you can. And then at the end of the 8 minutes, then I will pick a lucky winner, right, for you to present your offer to Rob and just really talk through it and just kind of give the reasoning or thoughts behind it. But it's just really, a lot of times when you put pen to paper, or I guess we don't call it pen to paper anymore, but fingers to keyboard, right? It just makes it more real, and it really has the ability to have that to stick in the brain a little bit more when you're doing that. So again, it's 850 East Ocean Boulevard, Unit 1403. List price is currently at $899. Is that right, Rob?
Yes, it's $899.
All right. So I don't know if some of you, like I said, I texted this to our group, so you would have the information previous to make it a little bit easier. But if you have any questions, please feel free to, let me go over here. Please feel free to ask questions. And I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. So we have Layla, Unknown, Bryn, Rebecca, Nina, Carmen, you guys start writing, and then I'll pick a lucky winner for you guys to present to Rob. Any questions, guys? Yes, no, maybe so.
That's good. Hopefully, we said enough to warrant you to to do the offer.
Yep, absolutely. And what, let me see, I don't have anybody in chat right now. So what other, while I have my timer on for the 8 minutes, what other kind of words of wisdom coaching would you give someone getting ready to write an offer?
Well, I think that make sure you guys know your comps, know the comps in the area. Look, Stephanie had up there the history. Make sure that you look at the history of what things have been sold, how it's been sold, and make sure you the building is real specific, so you can really look at the other ones that have been sold, and then you present your case. If you come in, you guys, let's say we're at 899, and you come in at 800, being in the business for as long, be fair, and you look at where it was. It was at 935, and then it went down to 899. So you can see that. And again, the bummer of it is nowadays, based on all the craziness that's going on, we can't really do letters of saying who we are and what they are, what your clients are, and show the kids and the pictures. So we know that you really want it, and that's where you have to be strong in the offer. So, but make sure that you have your, which won't happen today, but you have your lender's letter, so you know that they're already qualified, they're pre-qualified. Hopefully they have a direct a DU underwriting already, so that they can get through, with it. If you can do 30 days, awesome. If you can't, do 45, but don't do something that you can't do. You want to make sure that what you put in the offer is what you truly can accomplish. If you look in our notes and the private notes, luckily our guy, the place is empty, so a 30-day is great. And remember, cash is king. So if you come in with cash that's close, then you don't have to worry about your appraisal. You don't have to worry about title, all kinds of things. You still do. But those are kinds of extra things to tell you about. And if you're the smart agents that I know you guys are, being with KW, you can ask why it was on 200 days. And we'll tell you. It's a unique building. It's a unique place. That's what happens down in this area. So.
It's always, in our opinions, imperative to have conversations with the listing agent.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, call and build that rapport and start building that relationship and ask the questions of, what is it going to take to put this deal together, blah, 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 because there's a lot of information that can be shared, right? And what the listing agent will learn is how you're interacting with them prior to even writing an offer and having the conversation is how the rest of the transaction is going to go.
Absolutely.
So you're like setting the stage. Did you want to elaborate on that, Rob?
Well, what Deb and I like, we're, we use the word old school a lot, but it's so imperative that you talk to the agent. There are some agents out there, you guys and gals, that will, no, just text me, just do this. No, you want to be able, this is probably some of the biggest transactions that some people are going to make in their life. And you want to be able to do it. You're going to be their eyes and ears until you get in there and see it. Don't be afraid of the PED. Don't be afraid to come look at it because, yes, there's all the protocols, but that will be minimal compared to what you can garner out of when you talk to the agents. And hey, how are you? What's, tell me a little bit about more. Tell me about the area. And it's a beautiful, things like that. And if you find that the agent doesn't really want to be involved in it, then you gotta start sleuthing yourself. But again, have your comps ready and be fair in what you offer. And don't just say here's the offer and fax it in, or excuse me, not fax it in, scan it in, or tell you go there. I mean, you need to either email, call, and say, hey, even if you leave a message, I've got this great offer, go from there. As I said, we're sorry that we can't do letters anymore, but there's certainly ways around it. So, does that answer some questions or thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Bryn asked, did he say why his client is selling?
Um, there's a fine line now because going back to our ALC meeting last week, we were told absolutely not. So if you broach it in a way that says, hey, my client's moving from here, or they're selling their other place and they're ready to go. So that way, me as a listing agent will understand it, and it's not. What we also are getting into now too, you all, is that in this crazy market, people are just still are starting to put offers in all the time, and they really have no intention of wanting the place other than they want something else. We were backups. But what Stephanie just said, or what was just asked of us, it's a fine line. So use your judgment in when you say that. So, does
Okay,
that
and then
answer
Bryn,
the question?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just have to be cautious, right? Especially what we put in writing now too, and in text messages, because everything, that's stuff that can be used, because we always have to look at our transactions and how we're going as, I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to think this way, but from a litigious standpoint, right? Like, okay, what can be used against me in the court of law if something were to go down, so we just want to make sure that we're asking the right questions and not treading on, possible discriminatory actions and such. But Bryn asked, she goes, I asked to see if they're looking for a short escrow, and you had mentioned that it's vacant.
Right. Absolutely. You can ask that. You can ask all day long. And people love the fact that it's a short escrow. If it's a 45-day, if you start doing, you guys, a 60 and 90-day escrow, in today's world, a lot of things can go wrong. So you don't want that. But if Brenda, answer your question, yeah, short escrow is great. He would I mean, I'll tell you right now, without even finishing the offer, our seller would love to get it sold. Done.
Yep, the sooner the better. And like you said too, the longer the escrow, the more potential for problems and people to, just for things to happen. So it looks like we have 60 seconds more for you guys to wrap up and finish what you have, and then we'll just go through. And like I said, we want it to be interactive, to have open discussions as to, why you chose that, why you chose this, etc. And then also Rob, from a listing agent and seller standpoint, will share with what they would look like, or how they would respond to certain things that you would put in there, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
If you have like 60 seconds, give me 1 sec. I'm just.
Okay, so I know Rob's finishing up stuff. So who is, let me see, let me ask first, is there someone that would like to volunteer to share their offer, or do you just want me to pick somebody? Me, Nina. All right, Nina. Very good. So can you, you unmuted yourself. Can you share your screen?
No, I can't.
No.
So wait.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna just propose this. If you say no, it's fine. So I'm actually on my way to an appointment. So I've created the offer in my mind, and just listening to Rob and everything about the property. My client is ready to submit the offer. I've got it down. So I have it written, but it's more in my head. I don't know if we can go with that as one to try, but it's a pretty
That's up to
fantastic.
Stephanie.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a pretty great offer.
so what I can do is this. So if we go, see, are we doing the right one? Yep. Okay, can you guys see my screen with the paperwork?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So what I can do is
It's completely black where I am.
Yeah, it's a black screen here.
Oh, no kidding, really?
It's not black on my side. I can see it. I can see everything on the contract.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's great.
try sharing again. You might be just sharing with Nina.
No,
There we go.
Rebecca can see
Yeah,
it too.
baby, we're
There
in.
we go.
Oh, you can see it now? Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, so let's go ahead and
Okay.
we'll just kind of roll. So from Nina. Okay. So how much are you offering?
Okay, so the client, I'm gonna basically walk you through everything, but it's as if I'm talking to Rob. So Rob, the client wants to start, okay, so don't be alarmed. She wants to start at 875. However, I have fully informed her that there is potential for a seller counter. So she wants to come in at 875. She's gonna be coming in with 30% down, possibly 40%, but for sure 30%. She's got excellent credit. Her credit's over 800. Excellent job history. I have her lender on the phone ready to talk to you. The lender is going to be waiving the appraisal, and we're going to do
Really?
a 7-day inspection. Yeah. So we're going to waive the appraisal. She's ready to go. We'll be able to waive the appraisal. We'll be able to get the loan pretty much completed and done with in about 15 days, if not sooner. And the inspection, we're going to go ahead and bring that down to 7 days.
Boy,
How long of an escrow?
We're gonna do 30 days or less, obviously, to give time, on your side, and as far as like escrows, period, and everything with the court systems being so backdated, we'll put 30 days or less. If we can close it sooner, great. If we need the extra 30 days, if we need the 30 days, we have it there.
Stephanie knows I'm not usually lost for words, but that's a pretty damn good offer already.
That's what I'm saying. She's ready to go. I mean, this is right up her alley. She's been looking for something like this. Really strong work history, like I said. It's her first time buying. She's living in the marina right now, and she's been renting for about 5 years with her partner. Paying over $5,000, so she's ready. This is exactly what she's been looking for.
Is this a real one?
No.
It sounded real. I was like, what? Maybe this is real.
But you know what? I'm gonna try and find him a buyer now because I feel like I'm about to manifest it into existence. But no, I actually had a situation like this with an offer just like this. My client bought a home in Chatsworth at 985. 30% down. Everything was strong. We removed the appraisal contingency. The loan, I think we locked in the loan and had the loan funded and closed within 17 days. Yeah.
I mean,
it was
nice.
I've got to give you props. I mean, in all my years, we would, only time we started doing appraisal contingencies when it was nuts back in 2006. Even though you want to do it, I think it's great. Back on your loan, one of the things that we find is very important for us is don't leave all that blank. Put in, because that's one of the ways that you, even though it's such a great offer already, you need to understand that the finance terms, if it's totally blank, that means, let's say rates all of a sudden go up, they can back out. So we put in a specific number, first of, now it's down to what, 30 years, 2.9. So if you would do it at, doesn't go above 4, then you're cover yourself. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we're definitely going to lock in the numbers. When I email you the offer over, you'll see the loan amount that's being financed. Like I said, she's going to be putting down 30%, but she's going to possibly pull more and try to do closer to 40% down. So I'm putting it in as a 30% down, and she'll be financing the rest. And that's going to be in there too. It's plugged in, obviously conventional loan plugged
right,
in. And she's locked in at a 2.99% interest rate.
great, yep.
Yeah. So you should have this in your inbox. I know that you said there's no letters, but I did attach a letter. So there is a little quick letter about my buyer, just, introducing herself and letting her know all the things that she loves about the property.
Which is so awesome. As I said, and let's be honest, it's all of us just talking. We truly have done letters for 27, fabulous letters, great letters, and people have picked our client because of letters. And now, I mean, I almost run scared because we can be in a lawsuit for picking somebody because we love their picture, love what they have to say. I think it's nuts that we can't do that, but just be aware of it. That's all. And again, this is a transaction between you and I. Do we want to look at it? Human nature, Deb and I will probably look at it, but I don't know if we'll say anything else about it. So,
right.
But it's
Fair
really
enough.
something to be aware of, you guys. It's so, I mean, as I said, we love letters, but it's just, right now, it's just not kosher. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and just to be very clear, Rob, the client is aware of the seller coming back with a counter. We're ready. So, if you got to get us a counter, the sooner the better.
right. And the way that we would deal with that, the fact that you were fair and came in, there's a couple ways to go. So, Steph, you want me to say how we would do it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, he was originally at 935. He came down to 899, and you've come in at 875, which is actually a very strong offer. So, couple ways. The fact that it's been on for a while, will educate seller, and seller could go, great, I'll take it, let's run, and we're done. Or seller can say, let's meet halfway. So, half of whatever that 20,000 you came down, or 15,000 maybe go up, cursory 7.5 or 7,000, and everybody would win, on that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she understands what a deal she's getting already, being that it did start at 935. I definitely educated her on that. And I also let her know that, the market is very strong, and although there's not anyone in right now, if she doesn't hurry up and put this offer in, which is why we're getting it over to you, is that, she could possibly face other offers coming in and having that competition.
Which is very true. And, you've done your comps. There's some stuff in that building right now that's 849, but it's on the third floor. It's not on the 14th. So that's where we feel there's a lot of value on that line.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I've explained that to her. So, yeah, if we have to meet in the middle to accommodate both, the buyer and the seller, let's get it done.
But you never know. Here we've been having this conversation, and I don't want to say like you. That's not the right wording. I already respect that you have an idea of what you're doing and how you're doing it, and it will be up to Debbie and I, because Deb and I are partners, even though it's me on this today, and we would go back to the client and said, hey, you haven't received stuff in a while. You haven't got this. This is a strong offer. Appraisals, the fact that the appraisal contingency is removed, I haven't seen that in a while, and that is really a sticking point. And that's something that there's value there too, Nina. There really is. So,
yeah,
what do you
agree.
think, Stephanie, about the appraisal contingency removal?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely carries weight. And what's interesting though, but we still have the loan contingency. And so, Nina, were you, what time frame? Yeah, what time frame were you having for the removal of the loan contingency? I don't
Oh,
recall what you said.
yeah. 15 days. Yeah, 15
Okay.
days. Yeah, and like I said to Rob earlier, the lender is ready to have a phone call with him to kind of go over more of her financials to really assure the listing agent, Rob, so he can then let the seller know that everything is strong and she is overly qualified and ready to go. So yeah,
Right.
we would be able to remove the loan within 15 days, which is why I'm saying, 30 days or less, but realistically, we could probably close escrow within like 20 days.
Right. And I know he would be, the home is staged right now, so that would be easy to get that done. But it's just a matter of time frames. And the fact that you said that the lender's ready to talk, because again, and all you people that are listening to this, be rest assured that if a lender says, well, don't call me, or why are you calling me, as a seller, a listing agent, we would call the lender all the time and make sure. And I don't care if we bug him or her until they're blue in the face, because that's what's going to make the transaction happen. And the fact that you said your lender's ready to talk, that's big time for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just showing the seriousness of the buyer. The last thing you want to do is go into escrow and have it fall apart because the loan wasn't secured, you didn't cross qualify. That's the last thing you want for yourself and for your client.
Right. And the other thing, and if I can, to tell all of you, we just went through a transaction, I'm going to tell you the bank. We went through Wells Fargo, not us, but the buyer did. He had a choice of three different, lenders, and Wells just wooed him to no end because the lender that they wanted to use couldn't perform in Riverside County because we sold down in the desert. And Wells promised the moon, and we got it closed, but 2.5 weeks late because the Wells Fargo just could not perform. And they kept saying it was being, it's in underwriting, it's in this, it's seventh in the queue. So just make sure you really know what's going on. And honestly, we will not recommend Wells because of all of this. So, but we did get it closed. But just, again, that's just another thing in your pocket, another feather to say, hey, I really know. And just don't be afraid to quiz the lender on what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in communication with the lender, and a lot of the big brokerage houses just can't perform on a timely fashion. That the direct lenders and some of the other affiliates or vendors that we have, right? And so I do have a question for you, Rob. It's interesting because I have an agent in the Calabasas office that just actually closed a deal Friday, right? It wasn't contingent. It had no appraisal contingency on it.
Wow.
Right? It didn't have any appraisal contingency, but it's still contingent on the loan.
Right.
Right. And she's coming down with a big chunk of change, like 500,000. Right. So therefore the appraisal was done and it came in, I know I'm off on this, but at least 50,000 less. Right. Because there's certain square footage. So now there's this issue with the appraisal, and it's like, dude, it's not contingent on the appraisal, but now they had to pay for more points, but points weren't part of the financing terms. Right. So it's like, okay, so you're trying to negotiate all this stuff that wasn't even part of. So it circles back to making sure, as from a buyer standpoint, right, that the interest rates in there, are there points in there, so you can have those opportunities to be able to cancel the agreement if necessary. So I would love to know from a seller standpoint, then how would you challenge that? Let's say they didn't have the appraisal contingency. They decided to go ahead and pay $875. It came in at $850, let's say. And then they're just like, okay, I'm going to have to pay, 2 points to be able to get the same interest rate that I wanted because now my loan is at a different balance.
Well, and that's a great question because even if, let's go back, let's back up a minute. Even if the appraisal contingency was still in, there's a few ways that you can go. And there's really only 3 ways. Number one, you can say, hey, I'm sorry, appraisal didn't come in, you pay what it is, or that's it, because the appraisal contingency was still there. Number 2, the seller can say, well, you know what, I really want to sell and I'm okay with this price, and we'll split it with you, which we have done over the years, which really works out, again, a win-win for everybody. Thirdly, is the buyer can walk. That's one of where Stephanie was saying there's ways to walk, and that's one of the ways. If it doesn't appraise and you have appraisal contingency in, thank you very much, can't get the loan, I'm out. With the appraisal contingency removed, I mean, again, Nina, that's awesome that you want to do that. That's fabulous. So forgetting the loan for a second, whether the loan is more points or whatever, we're going to play hardball. And as great as this is, we're going to say, you remove the appraisal contingency. You're going to have to play with the consequences. So that's where we would come from. Is that what?
Yep. No,
Any
I
other thoughts
love
on
that.
Huh?
Well, especially if I love that, because especially if they're sharing that the appraisal didn't come in, right? Because they don't necessarily have to share that the appraisal came in low.
Right. And see, and what Stephanie just said about that, if you've already developed a relationship with the listing agent or starting to or no, then there shouldn't be an issue about sharing the appraisal. You have to be able to talk about it. But Stephanie's so right. What she said at the beginning, you really need to develop some kind of relationship when you're going through this. And be rest assured, we'd make sure as well. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I just want everybody on the call and who's ever, the people that are watching in Facebook land and then who are on with us here is really take note on how the conversation went with Nina and Rob, right? It was just like, those are the conversations that you have to have. Like, you develop it, ask the questions prior to writing the offer. Now she's submitting the offer, sent it, and then called and have another conversation. Hey, this is where, look at how that went. So I would just I think kudos to Nina and Rob to be able to have that open conversation. For me, it seemed like it was even real. I'm just like, ah, right?
And honestly, yes, Mr. Sensitive over here, I'm going, wow, if that's a real thing, I'm calling her after this call. So.
Yeah. So, so thank you, Nina, for participating in that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Rob, I hope you accept my offer.
Nina, come sell it, okay?
You got it. I'm going to sell it for you. You got it.
Love it. Love to do business with you.
So,
Anybody else have a different offer that was out of the park or was much lower, or something completely different than what Nina did that we can have a discussion about? I guess not.
Anyone?
I want to volunteer.
Yes, Bryn.
Okay.
Yes.
And hi, I'm Bryn. I'm new to the office, so I haven't gotten to meet all of you all, so I'm kind of setting myself up for this. But
no, are you new to the business, Bryn, or are you just new to the office?
I am not. I've been with Keller Williams since the first of the year. I was an agent in Kentucky for 6 years.
Wow.
So, yes. So
only because Kentucky's a little different than Southern California.
Yes. So, learning those things, I'm lucky to have had 3 transactions and closed about 10 days ago on a $1.3 million listing. So
good for you.
Congratulations.
Fabulous.
Thank you. So I had written mine in at $850 all cash.
Okay.
And I have proof of funds to go with it to have a 20-day escrow.
So I paused for a second because as fabulous as Nina is at $875 and waives the appraisal contingency, all cash, you all know, is king. And no appraisal has to happen. No, nothing has to happen on that. And you can close pretty quick. So,
I wanted to do like a 10-day, just an inspection just to make sure that there's nothing that's going to come back and bite us.
Right. Absolutely. And just so you all know, inspections are great, and always remember they're inspectors only as good as what they're being told what to look for. But This building that was built in 1992, it's one of the few buildings out there, forget that we have the listing, that's in impeccable shape. I mean, you drop a pin and the maintenance people are there to help you fix it. So it's great. But
That's wonderful. I did want to say, I know that the 850 is a lot lower than you're asking, but I pulled a comp and another one in the building sold about 7 months ago. I know it's out
yep,
of the 6 month range,
yep.
but and that was sold at like 821. And so
But look where it's at.
it's 6 floors below.
Right.
So I just wanted to know like how you were justifying the value. And this is where I figured I might raise some hairs. I just wanted to know how you're justifying the value for each floor, like as you go up.
I don't know if we have a specific amount, but the fact that things were totally redone in that unit, except for the master bath, gives us value there. The fact that we are 14 floors up. Again, it's what in looking at the other comps up there, there's stuff that's way above us, and now that you're right, there's stuff that's below. When I say pause because 850 cash, our seller might go, hey, I don't want, even though Nina's offer is absolutely fabulous, and I'm telling you that not because she's there, it's a great offer. The
Right.
cash he might say, hey, I'm tired of dealing with this. Let's just take the cash. But I imagine, because there are a couple units that are in the 840s right now, and they're all over the place. But again, they're 6, 7 floors lower. So can I give you an exact number? No, of what we did each floor. I could probably do the research and come back to you with an answer. I just don't have that answer at the moment. So, but good question, great question. And it's again, always remember you all. In your offers and your stuff, it's always going to be as great as an offer is. It's what a buyer will say. Well, what else can I buy instead?
Well, I would butter you up to let you know that the client is my parents, and they are moving here to be closer to their children who both live on the West Coast. And so, being able to be close to the beach and everything would be a wonderful opportunity for them coming from Kentucky.
I love it. That's it. See, in that you can kind of say, because you're related to the parents, you can say that and that would get away underneath the line and the wire. And I guess you already can hear all of us over the years. I love being buttered up. So
Well, because I know you don't want the letter, which I already have a letter from my mother talking about how excited she is to be close to her kids. Because I'm actually working with my parents to find them a permanent place. They're renting right now. So I already have that letter already drafted and how, she's about to have grandkids and all of that. So there is that I could throw at you, but I figured since you don't want a letter, I would just say it to you.
Yeah, and we can still, again, it's a fine line, and getting a relationship together with everybody, as you know, then you can have those kinds of conversations out of the norm. It not necessarily will push us, but will certainly, it's human nature for us to have a thought about that. It just is. So if you do it right and do it with respect, I think it can still work.
Wonderful. Let's get this closed.
That's a good one too, Brent. I mean, my gosh. So you all see,
that'd be tough. So how do you think you would counter? But if you had multiple counter offer situation with Bryn's offer and Nina's, how do you think you would respond to each?
Okay. So you all, we all live for. Hopefully, you all know this. We live for multiple counters. Debbie and I do not. In saying that, I don't want to be the one that says, oh, we got 10 offers and how cool are we? No, we refuse to do that because it's not fair to your seller. I don't care how sophisticated your seller is and how much they think they know about the business. You get good 3 or 4 solid offers and cut it and be done, because it's going to make you nuts as well, and especially in this crazy time. So in a multiple, some of the things that we will do, that Deb and I would do, because they are 2 different offers. So we would talk to the seller. The $875, you guys, and I'm throwing this out, is a hell of a price. although he hasn't gotten offers in a while. But if you were coming at 850, Nina, then it'd be a real different story. But 875 has a ton of potential in the appraisal thing. So now going back to Bryn's offer on the cash, on the multiple counter, we would probably come back, and there's one of two ways we'd go: highest, best, and final, because you both want to close quickly. You both want to, so there's no reason to counter on that. You both are very, very smart in cutting your inspection time down to 7-10 days. We do that all the time, and it works. They want the property inspected, get it done, move on. So that's what we also believe. So I can't think of anything else at the moment that I'd counter other than re-looking at the offer again. The fact that we told Nina to put in a figure in her loan, that is one thing that gets countered back all the time, that you guys, 99 times out of 100 people will leave it blank. And we just say, then we counter back. I'll tell you what we counter back at: best prevailing rate. And that means if the rates went up to 7 tomorrow, they'd have to take that. So we don't want that. I mean, we want people to be real serious. So the biggest counter part of it would be, number one, highest, best, and final. And if you two really would, so Nina would either come back and say, you know what, we're at 875. I don't care what anybody else says. Bryn, your mom and dad might come back and say, well, you know what, we really want this, so we'll go up to 860, or no, we're fine at 850, and then pull it back to us and let us educate our seller, and then make the decision based on that.
Yeah, I love it. Bryn and Nina, or anybody else on the call, do you guys have questions regarding, the offers, the conversation, the potential counter offer, etc.?
No, I think you've been great. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
All right, awesome.
That's cool. I hope I haven't talked too much.
No, not even.
Hopefully you're getting something out of this, because, an offer's half the battle. And Stephanie and I talked about this morning. You all don't be afraid even if it's not what you want, put in the offer. You want to start the dialogue, because it doesn't cost you to put in the offer. Yes, it'll cost your buyer once they get it, but put in the darn offer. People are afraid to put their foot forward. And once they do, then you can really have the dialogue and get it sold where you're working for your client.
And then let them know that too. It's interesting. I put an offer in. We closed a transaction with one of my clients a couple years ago, and I knew we were lowballing by a couple $100,000, right? On this it was actually a new construction home, a spec home type thing. And I was just like kind of cringing, but I was like, so I submitted it. Everything else was strong. Obviously, and we knew that we came in low, but I told in my conversations with the listing agent, I go, hey, look at the offer. We're starting the conversation. Please don't be afraid to counter, right? Just have that conversation. Just give us what you got and let's make this work. And he told me, he said, that was the best thing you could have told me right there. Cause it was just like, okay, we're starting the negotiations. Let's play ball. And we end up coming to a great deal, and it was a win-win for everybody. It was kind of hell through some of the negotiations, but we made it through.
And the addendum to what Stephanie's saying, you all, be honest as the day is day, because we just finished a transaction, and I don't care if it's a 500,000 transaction or $1 million or 10 million or whatever, it all washes out. We found out that the listing agent on a deal that we just closed, was lying through her teeth. And now client is in the working with Laura Peterson and going to go to mediation because they're not answering her calls. She's had to spend thousands of dollars after it's closed because of stuff that wasn't disclosed, stuff that wasn't there. So be as honest as you can. So.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you have to be. I mean, you have to come from a place of being, ethical. Your integrity is everything, and if you're not, it will bite you in the ass, right? One way or another. So just do your part to protect your clients, protect yourself, protect the brokers, our companies, etc. Because that's what people hire us to do. They hire us to be professionals, and they hire us to perform with the utmost of integrity. And that's what your business is based on, and you will be rewarded immensely for your integrity.
Well, you're 100% correct, because you want people to say, I'd love to do a business with those guys again, instead of, oh, I'll never talk to them again.
Because I'm sure there's agents out there that you'll never do business with again. I'm sure, Rob.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. And this one we just finished, we won't. We'll run for the hills when this one comes back. So.
Yep, we have to protect our industry the best that we can. All right, guys. Well, it doesn't look like questions here on Facebook. I don't see any questions here. Rob, do you have any words of wisdom you want to share with the group before we part ways?
Yeah. You all have heard me spiel a little bit here and there. Stephanie talked about the ethics of it and doing. If you know your business, have your some agents that are good will take that and do it. Don't take anything personally, because some agents just don't have the wherewithal to understand what's going on or how it's going on. There's still people out there, you all, that think, oh, I can be a real estate agent, no big deal. Well, you know what? It is a big deal, and it takes a lot of time, effort, and as Stephanie just said, you will be rewarded for being the person you are. So I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Well, Rob, I really appreciate you, and thanks, Nina and Bryn, for speaking out and sharing, and this was super fun. And yeah, just thank you for your time, and just wishing you guys a powerful, rest of your week, and go out and kick some major butte.
Which is awesome. We're almost done.
5.
All right,
okay,
fabulous.
That sounds great. All right, you guys. Thanks for everything. All right. Talk
Thanks,
to you
Rob.
again. All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
The broadcast of Facebook Live has stopped.